Greetings everyone, please give a moment to make sure everything's set on up. Looks like Rumble is going, Kick is going, Twitter is going, Twitch is going, looks like everything's just need to get YouTube going, and make sure it is going. Looks like YouTube is going. Somebody mentioned I should try doing some hashtags in title. I wonder if I'm going to try that with a title of a live stream. I wonder if that will work. Guess we'll find out when I check my other computer, see if it highlights it. Or turns into a hyperlink, I should say. Looks like that's all good. Time back to live chat windows. Looks like that's all good. Live chat windows are online. Time to activate the macros I like to use. And I think everything's good. Give me another moment to check my other computer. Is my microphone going? Yes, microphone's going. Gotta double check that. Looks like it is going with on the other computer. Additionally, the whatchamacallit hashtags are working. Whether or not if they work as in try to get some increased viewership is another matter. But let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn on the north side as the Orange Star Drake. We got a foreign name. Spawn on the south side as the Yellow Comet Andy. We got McDonald's. Hopefully goes for mechs. Either way, this map is a 3-base map. We've got the strong and weak side mechanic. 1 base on this side, 2 base on this side. Pipe scenes on both sides to slow down both of each other's advances. There is an airport on the weak side, but let's be frank, aircraft are agile enough where they can support either side. And plus, sometimes a little bit more difficult with wild battle coppers each turn when you have 3 bases, since infantry do cost a little bit. 3 bases means at least 3,000. So we probably won't see any battle coppers per turn, if that's what both players can be eyeing, until probably 12,000 income. Tanks, however, would be 7,000 plus 2 other bases, so 9,000 income. Orange Star or Drake has deployed out a black boat there, as well as a recon. This map's pretty good for recons. All these shores are effectively the same as roads. So very, very agile. Won't interrupt his capture, but he also has gone straight for this comm tower here. So Drake has early tips and firepower lead. I wasn't paying too close attention, but his initial infantry must have sprinted over there. Though the black boat could have helped out that. Wasn't paying close enough attention to it. Let's pick up that infantry unit there. Could try flipping this city of all things. And we got an early mech deployed by Drake to help capture the corner property. I was supposed to destroy the recon. Andy's recon is forward, but will not be able to interrupt the capture. If the players, and these are definitely higher rated players, I think both players within the top 10, or at least one of these players within the top 10, would do some basic counting, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it could actually push farther forward. If I'm not incorrect, could have pushed a little bit farther forward. Yeah, I can see here it goes well past over here. So he only took a small move and a full move because I think he was trying to prevent the first strike from the other recon. And then he would have to place on top of... There may have been some sort of trying to prevent first strike there. So this will be flipped, so not pushing all the way forward maybe was a bad call. But this probably will be flipped nice and early. And probably be flipped back nice and early. We have a tank now deployed out by Andy. Drake has gone from Max. And tank up here as well. And looks like he may try to capture this full health infantry unit rather than 9 health mech, which may be better. Mechs of course 3,000, infantry of course only 1,000. And looks like Andy will be on the capture there, so cleared out the mech. I see a lot of players use artillery, but it feels like mech is just a cheaper alternative for it. Plus it always take time to capture the property with the mech. But in this case, no. And pull the tank right there of all locations. He may be concerned about something. Excuse me. I mean, on top of the forest there and here should both be safe enough, so I'm not sure where the tank is right there. I might be missing something. One thing when it comes to Andy versus Drake matchup, Andy of course has the power to cancel out the damage from Drake's power or superpower. It's still a good idea to pop the power in order to counter out the power of Drake, even though it'll be a full refund. But it may be a good idea to Drake tried to interrupt the cycle of him popping power and or superpower, then Andy popping his power and or superpower to counter it. There is a cycle there where he may try to break, like go for an early power as soon as he can in order to put Andy in an awkward position. Though he can also always pop the superpower as well, and power included, just to wound his opponent so he can push easily through, say, a wall. And rather than trying to just do global damage, just try to weaken a wall before a follow-up attack. Won't be as powerful to say the least, but sometimes necessary. And this pipe scene has taken a bit of a beating there, down to 2 health. Which infantry units probably can't finish off. The mech should be able to finish it off. Probably a bad idea to let the mech finish off rather than using artillery. Drake has a pretty good core of tanks here. He is also taking capture of the lab. The lab is not critical. This is an HQ map. A bit of a bold play there, but it's going to be successful. Just don't think there's enough spotting here. I suppose pushing forward like that, I'm just always concerned about a tank coming from reinforcement, but he did have confidence of the reinforcing tank in case the tank did show up and fire upon it. But either way, in this case, the gamble was actually very effective. Got double anti-air here. Drake, it has gone for Battlecopter. He does have minus 30% firepower on his air unit, so his Battlecopter is particularly not good. But can be occasionally, can't go for too many of them. It's best for him to avoid the any sort of aircraft. His land units are completely and utterly ordinary, like Andy's. Andy has no issue going for Battlecopters. Plus, his superpower giving all units plus 1 movement range is very nice, including infantry units. Got a medium tank recon infantry, so Andy is well a medium tank. And unlike most COs, as I mentioned earlier, he doesn't have to worry about global damage whittling it down. He can simply repair it on up. And if it gets too badly wounded, he can also really boost up its health with Hyper Upgrade. And plus 1 movement range, so it becomes as agile as a light tank. And another Battlecopter by Drake. I am not totally convinced. Though he can use the Battlecopters to counter Battlecopters, but won't go particularly great. It'll just go okay, which is fine. Andy's pushing forward over here, spots both these tanks in this region, finish off that infantry unit there. Expose that tank there, but does counter out with his own tank. This tank of course can fall back and allow this tank to engage, but there's still 2 other reinforcing tanks. And Andy does not have vision both these artillery pieces as well, so if he does something like strike this infantry unit, it will be in artillery range. Of course, Drake has quite a presence there, and Andy is going to equalize this front with a Neo tank. There's a lot of mechs there. Drake doesn't actually have too much aggressive assets over here. You got relatively slow mechs, a good number of tanks, and a little bit too many anti-airs in the situation. And it's a good idea to go for one at least to count out battlecopters, but 80 with our cast vision has not deployed our battlecopter. Am I losing network connection? No, just my Twitch stream crashed. Actually, Twitch itself may have just crashed. Okay, good to know. Oops, I may have clicked off the game. Looks like my Twitch stream crashed. My other computer, I can see it also idle there. But everything else seems online. Yep, it says unable to connect, so Twitch, oh, it has started rebooting. And there we go, Twitch stream back online. So it looks like Twitch had a hiccup. Hence why I have other computers just to help monitor everything. Of course, I wasn't really paying attention to Drake's turn there, my apologies. But we do have a medium tank, range the regular tank, nothing to range this battlecopter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, cannot range the battlecopter there. Artillery takes out that pipe seam there, and Neotank managed to get a great strike on that tank there. It took 0 or only percentage points of damage, let's call it that. And he takes a good strike there. Tsunami could be popped. Hyper repair. Just don't pop superpower. Pop. Always be the second person to pop the power and or superpower versus Drake. But he has a power to counter the superpower. If he needs extra firepower and movement, he can always pop the superpower. But maybe overall it'd be a good idea to just pop the regular power. It's also a good idea for Andy to keep these wounded units alive because plus 5 health regen. Going for 2 health is not useful. 7 health, very useful. Another anti-air here. Does spot this anti-air there, so going to range the anti-airs. It may be a Popper Typhoon, but in this case, it may be not a good idea to immediately pop Typhoon if you get it. It may be a good idea to pop at the start of turns so you can use the wounded units to your advantage. And he has now Hyper upgrade. Popping it at the end of turn, if he would have obtained it, would not be very useful, but he has now gotten 2 Neotanks on his weak side. Help stabilize this region. Drake end a turn of 132 on the field. Andy starts to turn 129, has 24 versus 24. So overall, it looks like Andy has about a full turn ahead. Pops the superpower first. Okay, this is purely meant for the +1 movement range and was it +10 or +20 in firepower? I always forget. On my other screen, +10 in firepower. I don't like this because now Drake can pop a superpower aggressively or not aggressively. He has options. Andy does not have a quick counter to this bonus power and superpower. He has to make this turn really count down with the +1 movement range, which is very powerful with +7% global firepower. No stipulations of what type of units, so it's overall very useful. Not to mention also in the few movement powers that affects infantry as well. Makes it very handy there. Can he get enough damage done to warrant to eat the tsunami? Recon, infantry. So Skimps out, has 20,000. Speaking of which, I'm curious about something as well. Stealths are available. The ends turn of 141, which will likely be cooled down to about 111. And no superpower just yet. Yeah, he should have popped that immediately. Superpower is now active. 112, I actually guessed pretty close. And the medium tank is quite battered, bruised, and beaten, and can't just get healed up with pipe repair. And the Neotank's on 3-star defense property, so you can't use this wounded medium tank to engage the Neotank. Drake has now pulled ahead. Though Andy still has basically his previous turn day-to-day. He has now 45,000. He can go for a stealth this turn. He might. Battlecop's an easy pick. Gets most power charge to get Hyper Repair squeezed out as soon as he can. Medium tank and war tank on the left flank. Okay. I don't know why I was not expecting both of those on one flank. I was expecting the stealth, but war tank is quite nice. I am not sure how Andy does with war tanks though. There's very few COs I would say war tanks are excellent. The repairs is of course quite nice, but they have trouble where they still have to stick to cities because they need a constant resupply of ammo. Fuel versus strength will be a continuous problem as base fuel is 50. This Neotank did receive a first strike from this Neotank, but thanks to being Andy, can't get some global repairs going. Andy could squeeze out a hyper repair to top off this medium tank to strike this Neotank. Artillery strike to the Neotank could be very useful at that. He does pop the squeeze of the power there. Medium tank will strike. Oh, saucing up even further with the battlecopter. Takes the Neotank with medium tank. Now a lot of recovered funds there. Has 141 versus 99. Andy has quite an advantage. Plus his day-to-day income still, or most of it. A little bit less there. We could see a Tsunami pop immediately. Popping Tsunami could be a good call. Gets most power charge. Maybe pop Tsunami at the end of the turn. After all, his opponent has pretty much no power charge at the moment. 5,000 out of 37,000 needed. Which could give him one global damage for a decent amount of time going. Let's get a first strike on that medium tank of this Neotank. Though it does have an artillery piece in range to soften it up and maybe the battlecopter strike as well. Again. That medium tank is knocked out though. Pull it back because it's Andy. The war tank can start rotating over here, be end turn on the city, but would be immediately spotted. So there is an argument to engage the regular tank there to allow the war tank to creep its way forward. Won't be in a force, but it could do. Mech is a good strike there. Now the war tank can advance without being spotted, but it can easily still be spotted. Good chance this Neotank might just strike this tank here. And Drake actually still has both column towers, and just now realized. Tsunami can be brought on in, reducing the war tank to a bit more manageable numbers, to say the least. So pop Tsunami immediately. Down 115 versus 103. Andy did soar up some funds there. Still no vision that war tank just yet. That picks up that unit there. Still has not spotted the war tank, and now he has spotted the war tank. Good check on the artillery piece there, but the artillery piece is spotted. Picks up that one artillery piece. Effectively knocks out that artillery piece there. Another hyper repair is available, which will top off the health of the war tank. So the Neotank will likely go down next turn. It's probably a good idea to just pop hyper repair sooner rather than later. Get what power charge you can beforehand, of course. But definitely eye for the hyper repair this turn. Neotank is out of vision range at the moment. Does get spotted there. That's an easy power charge. Pipes hyper repair now. We got another medium tank over here. Anti-air strikes Battlecopter. Granted, a lot of the stuff is pretty low in fuel. The war tank has pocked itself on top of cities, so get resupplied, both in field and ammo. So there's a black boat down to 5 fuel. Wait, that black boat can't reach the harbor. Was that a mistake? Move mistake there? I think he just boosted this turn, right? That's what this APC is meant for, to resupply this black boat. So slightly not great planned black boat there. So of course sometimes it's hard to estimate the fuel consumption with fighting against Drake with the black boat. Andy right now has 132 versus 103, so Andy still has about a full turn ahead. Plus, he has leftover funds here, 13,000. Granted, this new tank will eat a good chunk of that, and it'll be quite delicious. Drake has gone for a bomber. With 2 comm towers, it's still weak, but a bomber is still a bomber, so it should still be adequate with minus 10% firepower in total. And his turn has 33,000 starting. And they both have 5,000 income at the moment. This property is trying to be flipped. Lots of good kills there. Does not take out the anti-air there, so it's probably dead there. Another war tank and to recon infantry support out. There's nothing. The bomber can be used versus war tanks. Let's take a quick look at that. How ineffective is a 2 comm tower bomber versus a Drake bomber versus a war tank? It will put a dent to it, a decent dent, but of course it is Andy. Maybe not a really big enough dent. It's hard to say what he should do against those war tanks, other than be a bit more aggressive on his opponent's weak side. Because right now both players are playing right there, which is a bit more sided better for Andy. What? $79 health, but he base blocked himself. What? I am confused by that. He really wanted that pipe scene open this turn to do a base skip for a pipe scene opening. I do not know about that. Generally, I have no idea what to think about that. I'm just confused. Though, it would be an interesting ambush against Andy, who would be not expecting a bomber to be coming out from his opponent's factory. Plus, let's be afraid, you don't have to worry about bombers being on top of your opponent's factory. Right now, this Neo tank's now back up to 9 health with 2 war tanks, a lot of heavy armor to crack in here. We do have, of course, a single anti-air to engage the Battlecopter and the bomber, and another Battlecopter there. I think Drake's gone too heavy in the aircraft, but he does have 2 comm towers. But this may change rather soon. It has 11 capture ballers remaining, so it'll be 2 turns. Now he's taking time to destroy these pipe scenes. Drake has foregone the pipe scene destroying. Andy almost went that for immediately. And Drake has not been too aggressive, so Andy was able to capitalize on that quite nicely. Double Drake bomber? Okay, this has to be a pretty big game up by Drake. He has to make sure this compound does not get... This is the only way that the bombers are any worth a damn. course, he's not seen the second war tank just yet. This APC is starting to rotate now over in the center of the map after resupplying the black boat to keep these war tanks resupplied. He also has this one here as well. Yeah, I don't know how to, I don't know how to feel about the double Drake bomber. Somebody tells me it's not a good choice. And he almost has a hyper repair, which can be useful for both countering the power and superpower as earlier. And he has gone for a fighter. I don't think he's seen any of these bombers. And actually no, this recon spot this bomber, right? This recon has spotted the bomber, which is actually quite critical, which means the fighter is going to be very useful, not versus one, versus two bombers. Does pop a tsunami there. Just soften up everything. Hyper repair would be a good idea, regardless if the is going to get full value of the 2 health restoration. This may be Drake's last hurrah. Andy right now has 160. Drake has 126 with day to day. He's still behind about a full turn. Andy still has an anti-air here to engage both the battlecopter and the bomber. He will have to spend funds repairing up the fighter. 153 ending versus 160 starting, so Andy has a full turn ahead. Did strike there. Try and flex some self-damage as well as get some power charge. Oh, now give him hyper upgrade. Pops a full hyper upgrade, which will restore a decent amount of health from the field, up to 186. So he went up in value of at least, what, 20,000? That anti-air is down to 18 fuel. Fighter gets +1 movement range to quickly respond to the center of the map. And Andy still has a full health anti-air to help engage this bomber. And nothing in the region to actually engage the anti-air, is there? And Drake has hit the resign button now. This Angrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Let's see now. Let me readjust this map, shrink it a little bit there. There we go. And give me more to shrink over here. That should be good. Yep, I think that should be good enough for now. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the south side as the Gray Sky Adder, we got X Old Man. So on the north side as the Cyan, or what color is this one again? Azure Asteroid. Jake, we got Gray Fox. And since this opponent has selected Gray, I can't do the joke of switching Gray Fox into Gray. Either way, this map is quite a wide map, but relatively narrow this way. There's also 3 base, 2 airport. Also, you do have a infantry here to spot one factory or the other factory. Though a Sonya does have advantage where she can spot all 3 factories. And if your infantry unit just stays there and continues to be, and just stays there, she can always be artilleried, but she can just pop to the forest there to wait out the artillery. And perhaps go to the side mountain to get some more spotting. So just an infantry game, 5,000 income, so no recon this turn. It'll be a base skip. Both players do have 2 black boats on the map for scouting purposes, and you cannot boost with this one since it's on top of a pipe scene. You can't move into units on top of a pipe scene. You can boost with the one next to this comm tower. Both players actually do start out with a comm tower captured. Also, I sort of think it's weird there's a black boat here. Like, if this black boat here could honestly just be gotten rid of. It's just sort of weird to me. I can understand a black boat next to the airport for scouting purposes. Maybe it would be interesting if it was a pipe seam underneath it. So you can always destroy it even further to get a better path out of the airport. You have it now taken deployed by Adder as well as a recon here. Adder is of course the mobility seal. He gets +1 then +2 movement for his power and superpower, so he's able to chain +1 movements, get +10/+10. While Jake of course gets bonus firepower from technical planes, and there's a good number of planes on this map, so he will get used to this day-to-day quite nicely. Additionally, his power and superpower is a little bit more of a mixed bag. It increases plane's attack from 10, 20 to 30%. Additionally, with his beatdown, his indirects get +1 range, which is unusual. Additionally, his superpower, of course, still retains a +1 indirect range, but also provides his vehicles, ground vehicles, +2 movement range. You have a Jake artillery piece out here. This map is pretty wide open, so I think in the block rock, the +2 movement range, the superpowers be a bit better than +1 indirect range. Plus, he probably doesn't want to keep his artillery on open ground, probably in forests. So likely Jake will probably see his superpower more than his regular power. We do have now Battlecopter followed up by Adder, while Jake's been going with a good number of tanks artillery. He does go for AT on the right flank. Of course, he can spot if any aircraft get deployed out here, but this Battlecopter can always just go leftwards if he wants a stealth deployment to the left side. Good strike there. If he pops a block rock, the artillery will move range the infantry. Not block rock, a beat down. But that's not likely. Too early for that. This recon can hit this artillery, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yep, that artillery is in range of that recon. Man's get a first strike on this tank here, and will be on his own property, so be topped off as well. Does need to be careful with that Battlecopter, but his anti-air is pushing his way forward, but may not be pushed forward far enough. If the Battlecopter attacks on this side, it will be in range of the anti-air, but if it attacks on top, it will not. And you can do estimates of where anti-air could be after all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just count the tiles, and you get a good educated guess where the anti-air could be if you're willing to make that gamble. Jake has gone for his own Battlecopter here, which is being spotted by the recon there. Good strike there. Starting to push along the right flank. Tank can move on the left side, anti-air as well. Battlecopter infantry, artillery. Got double tank now deployed on the field there, as was a Battlecopter up here in full vision. Trying Try and flip some of these properties. Battlecopter pushing forward in the center. Got an artillery piece here. Side slip is now available. Plus one movement range is very, very nice. Adder's turn. Right now, Jake insert for 125. Adder starts turn 109, so he's starting to fall a little bit behind. Oh, pops side slip of a little bit. Keyboard a little bit power charge. Good strikes there. Managed to take out the entry in there, and this tank should be able to range it. Yes, it will. Adder's going to try to perhaps win the game this turn. He also gets +10/+10 as well, which is very nice. Of course, there's not too much vision over here. There's not much you can do. Jake has a pretty good death ball over here. He's starting to flip multiple properties. Adder can start flipping these properties over here, including the comm tower. This comm tower is not being threatened just yet. It does flip 2 properties. Also, Iflis Lab. Recon goes down. Of course, this tank has vision of this tank. You have a beatdown available, but no real valid targets at the moment. Tank does strike tank there, could finish off the other tank, and does block this avenue. And it's infantry on top of forest, which is a little bit hard to displace, doesn't have anything to one-shot it. You have to use a beatdown on this artillery piece there in order to range it. Ace out those units there. Of course, not to mention, not only there's a forest there, he has to take time to spot it as well as destroy it in order to get past it. That's a bit of a tall order. So this is a pretty good lockdown right there. Medium tank infantry. He's taking up the medium tank to be a powerful defensive asset. And with his power and or superpower, he can be quite agile for a turn. Good progress over here. Oh, does get trapped there. Artillery advancing. Artillery does take out the 8 health tank. That's probably best call right at the moment. Got a couple here as well. Does go ahead and get entry inside of the black belt, and it's not deploying it immediately. There's actually also a pair of despicable neutral properties over here. This property is captured up by Adder. Block Rock is almost available. Pulls back the entry unit there. And of course doesn't see this other one in the forest. If anything, if the recon's gonna push forward, I suppose he can't range even that forest there. Does get trapped on that forest there, which is nice for Adder. Power's not available, while his medium tank can push pretty far forward. Artillery recon. Jake's going for heavy artillery. He's going to just use his power and superpower to lock down this advance. While he's advancing over here, comm tower will be captured. Will give him 1 turn of a 2 comm towers. Block Rock now available. Adder won't be able to stop to capture this comm tower there. It will be 2 flipped. Does get trapped on the infantry unit there. infantry and aviator. I don't think it's actually a good idea to go for Block Rock. There's nothing in range of the artillery, and doesn't really need the +2 vehicle movement range. Does get trapped there. Takes the battle copter there, strikes the wounded infantry unit there. This is a lab map, so no HQs. Sign right now has, or Azure Asteroid has 3 labs. Of course, this one can easily be claimed by Adder. But I think at this point in time is all about capturing factories, who can capture opponent's bases or airport. Both sides' black boats are still alive as well. Adder does have the first side slip. Reconnaissing. Reconnoitering. And pops a side slip and has enough turf for another side slip next turn, ready for the 1-2 punch. Recon gets a good strike there. Does not spot the Neo Tank just yet. Neo Tank in range of the artillery piece. It is spotted and is hit. Does not envision this tank there. Does have 2 battlecrafts in this region. Both are spotted. Good enough in here to counter them. Is there still an infantry unit inside this black boat? I just realized that. There might be still infantry inside that black boat. Here comes a Block Rock. Giving also +1 range on his indirects, which can be used. Like, for example, this one's in range of 2 tanks there. Recon gets a good spotting there. Neo Tank for 4 takes the Recon, not the greatest target there. Artillery, he should have done the back one. He does have vision of this one. Artillery barrage does take out the battlecopter. Also, Adder's not getting any power charge. Double taps the medium tank there. You can double tap the battlecopters next turn. Tank, battlecopter, artillery, infantry. Adder's turn. Power charge is minimal. Another side slip has been slipped. Takes out battlecopter number 1. Could have got these battlecopter kills before the side slip. They were in range. Gotta get that power charge going. So that's probably an oversight there. Battlecopter, recon. It looks like Adder's going to fall back on the left flank. It's turn for 138. Drake starts turn 137 with his day-to-day income mostly intact. So he is about a turn ahead. Does not interrupt the capture there. Forces pushing way forward. Artillery, tank, infantry, T-copter. Adder's ahead by 2,000 income as well. And also has 7 more units. Now they're starting to make a pretty good comeback over here, so it's going to be both sides going to be switching directions with a strong and weak side performing. Good number of picks off there. Infantry units need to start strengthening as much properties as possible. Hence why Jake went for a T-copter. And Jake, or Adder, has gone for a bomber next to this black boat. Oh, there was an infantry unit still in there. It's just one health infantry unit though, just not a full health. This also does give him a bit of a trapping capability there. To help prevent counterattacks. Here, artillery infantry, and looks like he does get trapped on the black boat, but that was just a one health tank. He here strikes the artillery. Adder bomber heading down south. Got tank recon infantry. Jake's turn. Adder ends turn of 176. Jake starts turn 159, so they're pretty even at the moment. There's good kills there, trying to flip that comm tower. Adder can start to try to flip this comm tower here. Side slip now available. Of course, Jake has gone for a fighter to counter out the bomber. Helicopter tank ain't here. Artillery does strike that anti-air, as was the infantry. Doesn't finish off those units, moving them off. Oh, that recon did not finish off the anti-air. Monster roll pretty low rock. It's hard to say how much percentage of health they have as well. But I assume it wouldn't be at too high. Battlecopter. Tank infantry. Neo tank recon infantry. Ends turn for 200,500 versus 88. Devastated day. So Jake technically has a slight advantage, but can still go either way. Trying to flip multiple properties back. Adder does have significant income. A capture progress for me. Looks like Adder will capture his comm tower first. Great, got a spam bot. Just delete this right there. Oh, it looks like Adder still has his 4 health infantry unit there. Neo tank and bomber on the left flank. Of course, we got a Neo tank and fighter here. Double anti-air there. Game's gone a little bit more stalemate in the middle of the map as well, like a normal game. Tank infantry recon. The property does take out a black boat, or not black boat, a battlecopter there, and spot this tank there, which this medium tank is in range. Actually takes time to fire a shot there. Getting some picks there. And we've got a full Sidewinder, so +2 movement range for Adder. He's going to try to close the game, looks like in this turn. Mount infantry here, which the block rock will increase their range, because some good strikes over here. These good strikes on these artillery pieces there will soften them up. Neo takes a good strike there. The extra range is coming in handy. Bomber gets a good strike there as well. Additionally, Adder does have 2 comm powers, so this is probably the best turn for him to pop a superpower, and plus some firepower to go along with this. And now this comm power will be flipped back. And here comes the block rock. Does not take out the ATR there, another battlecopter on the field, takes out that unit there. Artillery striking that ATR, takes the recon, as well as getting some outlying shots on various other forces. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter, ATR strikes bomber and one-shots it. Plus 30% firepower from tactical planes is very helpful right now. Artillery softs up the Neo tank, does go ahead and try, he does get a good shot there. Jake's in turn 165, Adder starts at turn 161, so it's turn difference. Of course, the front lines are smashing each other, which tends to go better for whoever's turn is. Means they can start making some aggressive plays. The amount of kills there. Nothing to gauge the battlecopter over here as well at the moment. There's some of these outlying tanks off, very nice. There's the battlecopter there. ATR is out of range of the fighter, but at this point in time, it's not going to be super useful in them shooting down some battlecopters. ATR sure takes out ATR, battlecopter strikes the Neo tank. You can use the 5 health Neo tank to gauge some health Neo tank. It's on top of the city. Because the other Neo tank does have plus 30% firepower from being on top of planes. We do now have another side slip activated. Maybe the last one for the game. Pops it. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry. So overall, a very, very poor side slip there. Could probably wait till another turn or something. Does finish off that recon there. Finish off that infantry unit there. And looks like Jake has resigned. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Before I get started next replay, I need a moment to get rid of the spam bot and actually ban it. I just simply did a quick delete. Additionally, to get this drink over my other hand. It was a hot and humid day, and I think I'm a little bit dehydrated. Plus, when casting is always a good idea to help moisten my throat. And I realized, well, I may have hit my microphone at a point in time. And I should fix that. Give me a moment to fix all this. Okay, that should be good to go. Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Advance Wars by Web replay. It's on the south side, as the Azure Asteroid Olaf. We got Uxna. So on the north side as the Orange Star Eagle, we got ET Likes Blocks. So that's actually, I think, is that a cross or a T? And when I highlight it, it shows like a T. Either way, let's go ahead and get started. This map is a 3-base map with 2 seaports, 1 airport. The seaports are just meant to support black boats and landers. You cannot reach a deep water sea or deep water ship like a battleship to right here. Too many shores in the way and bridges. Of course, one side has 2 bases, the other side has 1 base, so it's a bit more of a strong weak side mechanic. There's also a pair of comm towers on your weak side as well for a hard point for you to hold that point. And Olaf has gone from earlier to the piece. I'm not sure what he's planning. It is on the strong side, so it took a bit of time to get to be useful. There's also a decent number of mountains here as well. We are going to put the artillery piece on top of this silo platform there, but we also got Eagle indirect as well. Looks like Olaf's going to try to seize this property. Got a tank here by Eagle as well for defense. Got a tank over here. Black boat. Infantry. Yep, Eagle Force has +10% firepower and 10% defense on his aircraft, so battle cops are pretty useful for him. Olaf just unaffected by snow. But his blizzards can be quite nice when fighting against Eagle. It'll help be a good way to slow his Eagle down, especially for the double turns. He does not really want to pop a double turn on during snow, unless his front lines are already smashed into each other. Olaf can be strategic with his power and superpower, but it's generally a good idea to save up superpower and pop it immediately. Got a decent number of tanks on Eagle's weak side. Right now it's 17 to 18, 19,000 income. Both sides have a comm tower. Huh. I would assume he would have pushed forward and finished off that unit there with one health infantry unit there with the 4 health infantry unit there. I would assume that would have done enough. After all, 1 health has 90% less effectiveness defense. So it'd be 3% defense rather than 30. Mech, tank. Well, either way, he did strike this tank here first, but he's in range of artillery. And looks like these tanks are away from the reinforcing tanks. So if he strikes one of these tanks with the artillery, he will be effectively sacking the artillery piece. But maybe able to hit this 9 health and maybe finish off with 4 health, possibly. Does. But this tank will likely go down to this tank. But if he does, he'll be sacking that one with the artillery as well. So overall, not a great engagement there by Eagle. Another tank here. Eagle's going for his airport. He wants battlecopters and does push forward a pair of mech and an infantry unit there. Does not interrupt the capture there. Artillery, infantry. Tank will strike tank. Of course, got the reinforcing tank here, but of course he has a reinforcing tank here. And I mentioned a reinforcing tank here, so this tank pushing forward like that was not a great call. It feels like Eagle's being a little bit too aggressive with tanks and not taking good engagements. Yep, ends turn 93, starts turn 74, so Eagle's about a turn behind. But now has his airport, so start bringing in some battlecopters. Sorry, I was taking a drink, but there's a rocket now deployed by Eagle. Rockets, I suppose on the weak side, rockets a little bit more acceptable, and there's a decent amount of mountains that are fired behind. But that's generally a bad idea to go for rockets. Though I suppose the nice thing about with Eagle rockets is he can simply try to charge them forward and then pop the lightning strike so they can actually get a shot on in. Anti-air artillery tank. Rockets moving forward. There's actually a decent number of shores there for the rocket traverse, as well as over right here as well. So the rocket can get the front line relatively quickly. Another battlecopter put up by Eagle. Probably spamming with battlecopters, probably a good idea. Olaf may be able to get this comm tower there. We'll have to send a tank there to interrupt it, and which will bait out a tank to be ambushed by all these tanks. So, very good capture game here. Threatening all three of these properties. This one can be interrupted easily by infantry unit there, as well as this one here. But the comm tower, he's got to rotate the artillery and rocket over here to protect the comm tower, in order to protect him from the tanks that may advance onto him. Rocket Kid couldn't make its way all the way over here, be a bit exposed, but possibly can be supported. Did put a rocket on this forest here. There's not all of his opponent's threats are over here, so putting a rocket right there is not super great. Definitely should be eyeing to try to move it around to this forest. Medium tank infantry. And he just straight up forfeited this stuff here. And that turn seemed particularly short, but remember as well, this is not a live league. This is a global league game. So there was no time crunch there. And now the triple capture was forfeited 2 cities and a comm tower there. Olaf is at 26,000 versus 19. I also pick up on neutral properties there. So 27,000 versus 19. Olaf's economy is going to be very, very good. Artillery, recon, tank. So right now Olaf does have 3 comm towers, giving plus 30% firepower. Infantry, battlecopter, infantry, tank. Yeah, similar about at the most. So Olaf is about a turn ahead with his higher income, with still his day-to-day. Plus, he still has a higher day-to-day income. Eagle cannot wait around. Meteor will strike that battlecopter there, giving Eagle some much-needed power charge. There's a possibility where Eagle could squeeze out a lightning strike next turn. Olaf is being very aggressive. I don't think Olaf should be aggressive right now. I think he should have just waited back, try to make his opponent take the first move, because Eagle lightning strike is always incredibly powerful. At this point in time, Eagle needs to get his lightning strike next turn, or he will lose the game, in my opinion. Battlecopter, infantry, and medium tank. And with the 2 front lines smashed into each other, the chance of a lightning strike is very likely. Yeah, I think Eagle will get his lightning strike, and how well it goes will determine the game. Right now, Olaf ends turn of 181. Eagle starts the turn of 121, so he's down by 60,000 funds. Let's see how well this goes. Rocket gets a good strike there. Use the mech to strike the tank there. Winter Fury is available, of course. Battlecopter strikes battlecopter. Not using this mech just yet. Does. Remember, infantry doesn't move again. It's best to, if they get a good first engagement, it's probably best to do this first turn. And there is a lightning strike available. It was pretty easy for him to get. That's why I say Olaf should not smash his front line. He should have stayed back, let more of his superior value to accumulate. Then he can withstand a lightning strike a little bit better sheer value. And there's a lightning strike. Okay, so good strikes over here. So his wind tanks are falling back. Takes a pot shot at the infantry on that tank there. We'll get it there. Battlecopter straight forward. No anti-hero remains on the left flank, so his battlecopter will reign supreme on the left flank. He won't be able to range this last ATR, so his only battlecopter this region will get shot down. Winter Fury is likely. Right now, Eagle has 136, Olaf has 111, so Eagle did even out the value. But right now, they're equal, and with Winter Fury, it will no longer be equal. 105 to 114, plus he still has day-to-day. We'll strike the rocket there, which may actually pay for itself if it takes that double turn. So got some tanks in the medium tank this region. Battlecopter can swing around. One of these tanks should just strike the anti-air. And Olaf needs to go heavy in anti-air this turn. Battlecopter, tank, anti-air, infantry. I think should have gone for anti-air, because this anti-airs will be struck the next turn. This tank's in range. This tank is not in range. The winter is going to be very useful for Olaf to slow down his opponent. And his tanks are charged away forward, picks off multiple units over here. Olaf ends turn to 135, Eagle starts turn 79. Not to mention, the bigger problem is the day-to-day value. I think it's a good strike there. Mech can finish off, of course. he took out this infantry unit there with that tank. I disagree with that. He should have put a round with that anti-air. I guess he really wants to strike this artillery piece there with his very slow battlecopter, but I think he should have put a round into the anti-air there in order to help protect his battlecopters. Tank infantry. Another tank. And Olaf still has 3 comm towers, actually very important. He also started capturing the one health infantry on this comm tower. I think he should pull the thing off, let the 9 health infantry start capturing, then do a join. Because at this point in time, they would be quicker that way. Olaf is now throwing this city here, as well as a little bit of HQ. HQ just meant to force a response. Over to, not Lightning Drive. Yeah, Lightning Drive's now available. Anti-air battlecopter infantry tank. Takes out the capping HQ capturing squad, strikes the capping infantry unit there, and resigns. In the sand grade saying, "Thank you for watching," and on to the next replay. Greetings everyone, and Grade here with another Age of Empires Advanced Wars by Web replay. It's on the south side as Yellow Comet Olaf, we got Muji 6. On the north side as the Blue Moon Kindle, we got 23. Here's the number after 22. This map is a 3-base map with, let's see, 1 airport, 2 comm towers. Another airport somewhere? Nope. And both players do start with a missile, which is unusual. Missiles do have recon vision range, but they also will bleed off a large amount of power charge. I have no idea how both players should use a missile. They're also not like, say, they're out of ammo. So I think the missile's trying to lock down the airport. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has to be on top of this shore right there to lock down the airport. So I'm not sure what the missile's doing. Scouting, of course. Trying to spot the fat bases there, looks like. One base to start on this little island there. There's rivers here. So infantry and mix and cross over. But overall, it's going to be slow going getting out of this base. It's meant for infantry. We also got an airport here, which requires a transport of some sort. And the recon is there. Looks like both missiles went onto the force there, ready to shoot down some civilian airliners. So yeah, we have long going to get out from this base. There is a chain of shores here, so tanks can make a crossing here, here, and here. Also here as well, so this can eventually lead to a flank to your opponent's base there. I'm not sure how this map will go. I don't think I ever cast a replay on this map. There's decent amount of properties as well as forests here, so Kindle can make some good use of her day-to-day. And I think her high society is going to be a little bit nice as well. It just feels like there's a good number of properties. More tanks being pulled in the field, of course. Both players are... Yellow has pulled back his missile a little bit. Kindle's keeping her on the front line. Now Artillery's striking that pipe seam for a better exit. After all this, it actually can go left, right, but needs this destroyer to go south. A machine gun around that pipe seam, you monster. I think well, there's a good number of shores. Oh wait, no, there's a river there, and you can't have boats go across rivers, so this area is not traversable for land transport to get across. So, only transport play, no blocking with ship play. Recon tank. Williams infantry units could get a good shot in this infantry unit there. Interrupts the capture. Right now, Kindle does 16 versus Olaf's 15. More props being captured over here, as well as here. And it looks like Olaf has a good core of tanks in the center of the map. Kindle, not so much. But Olaf has to be careful about the urbanized attack, the urban retaliation of Kindle. Because, for example, one tank here can get a good shot on either of those tanks. Let's take out that one there. Good strike there. Olaf starts a turn of 73, Kindle ends a turn of 80, so she does have a slight advantage, but ever so. One health infantry unit, managed to take out one health infantry unit there. Tank, and infantry. Looking the income, we're looking for 2 tanks per turn. Once you get to 21,000, then you can afford 3 tanks per turn. Get some fix there. Neo tank by Kindle. So she teched up quite a bit there. Olaf right now is 27,000, so he can go for his own Neo tank this turn, maybe for a bomber. But there are, of course, missiles on the field, which actually may dissuade players. That's maybe one reason why we haven't seen any battlecopters just yet, is because of the 3 missiles. Because you know your opponent has a missile. It may be still a good idea to go for an A-tier, because it's much more mobile and responsive and have better coverage, because it's just speed. But still, the missile will help dissuade the aircraft. We do now have a medium tank on field, which can fight the Kindle Neo tank. But of course, Winter Fury versus Urban Blight, a lot of mechanics can be in play. Tank will strike the tank. Tank will strike the tank. Artillery gets on top of the city, giving a very, very powerful boost there if it fires a shot off. Plus 40% firepower. Anti-air recon. Tank gets struck there. Tank gets struck there and stays out of range of the artillery piece, which is very good. Urban Blight cannot be brought on in, and as well as you can see here, the only urban property that these tanks are near is this one column tower. which is possible, but we're going to be have to venture the Fog of War, which could be scouted out. Maybe by this 1 health infantry unit there, or I could just send a Neo Tank into it. Tank strikes tank. Tank strikes tank. Pops the Urban Blight, and which will inflict some blight upon these lands. Got the 7 health tank here, medium, or not the medium tank, anti-air, recon, infantry, this infantry, that infantry. And that's about it as far as I can see. Maybe this infantry here, as well as this one. Softens up the tank there, but did not manage to get enough of a kill there. That's curious. I'm curious, how close was that? No chance of be guaranteed. And you saw the tank going from full health down to 7 health, so you know it's at a full 70 health. Another Neo Tank deployed out by Kindle. Winter Fury is almost upon these lands. Neo Tank deployed out by Olaf as well as a pair of infantry. 20,000 versus 125,000, so Kindle's about a turn ahead. Ooh! Neo Tank gets trapped there, but no way to do any real damage to it, or any damage. But it never feels good having a Neo Tank trapped on the infantry unit there. Even though it's not any sort of threat with our cast division, still does not feel good. Well, trying to set up an ambush and engage that Neo Tank. Infantry unit there has 11 capture progress remaining. Could be controlling capture to get potentially 10 capture progress left. Lots of good picks there. Winter Fury is almost available. Interrupts these captures. Very nice. And I just got a train of mechs being pulled on the right flank, so it looks like Kindle's happy with a mech spam on the right side. And follows up with double anti-air. The missile could be struck while being ranged of mechs. It would be very cost effective, but he can now know where it's at, so he can simply dance around it, effectively making it cost worthless, since this battle call's on the left flank, and he now knows where the missile is, so he's safe to go on the left flank than the right flank. So he knows there was at least one anti-air on the left flank as well. But can always strike down the missile there to get some extra power charge for his superpower. Or try to strike it during his opponent's power superpower to prevent the power charge as well. Winter Fury is now available, and puts the rest of his units on top of properties if possible. And a little bit of skimp on the purchase there, saves 1 day worth of income. Didn't want to pay any additional repairs. You can always go for some very valuable stuff this next turn. Winter Fury has been popped. Recon does go down, strikes the infantry unit there, hits the missile with the infantry unit there. Of course, a lot of those mechs will be moving pretty slow in the snow. Battlecopter strikes Neo Tank, Medium Tank strikes Neo Tank, leaving it down to 1 health. Battlecopter, Tank, Recon, Infantry. Artillery gets a good strike there, pulls back the Neo Tank to a forest. Good strike there on that medium tank. She's almost have enough for a High Society. High Society is a nice superpower. 25 properties, so she'll get 75% increased firepower on all units, which is actually very, very good. It's just that her High Society is a good superpower. Her Blight is an excellent power. Additionally, High Society right now will apply 70 plus 75% firepower. Additionally, she has one counter. Pops Urban Blight there. Let's just say if she would attack from an urban terrain with the superpower, it would be over plus 200% firepower. Pops Urban Blight in turn just to get the power charge spent. Inflicts not too much damage at all. Hit this tank and of course the base units. And this one infantry unit onto a column tower. So nothing really. Good strikes over on there. Takes a good strike on the anti-air as well. Takes the Neo tank as well, and that's a whole bunch of power charge that Kindle is not getting. So now we've got 2 1 health Neo tanks. It'll take forever to get those things repaired on up. She does have another Neo tank spawned out from last turn. And this artillery piece is actually getting pretty low on ammo, though it could have been used to strike the pipe scene. Another mech. Another Urban Blight could be popped, which would get a good strike onto the missile, but that's ultimately it. Does use Black Bow repairs on that Neo tank, but the other one City, that's going to be eating all of her data income. I don't know if that's a good or bad idea. Battlecopter anti-air infantry. Great progress there. Olaf in terms of 149. Kino starts with 120, and with her day-to-day pretty low with all the extra repairs, it's not looking good for her to say the least. She can go for High Society. She may have to go for High Society this turn. Does pop an Urban Blight, so she could get a boost strike on this Neo tank if it can manage to get in the range. We can use the Neo tank and regular tank to strike this anti-air. Takes that unit there. Winter Fury is now available. Boost strike there, takes out that one unit there. Strikes the regular tank, but this Neo tank will get a great strike there. Winter Fury will soften up all the Neo tanks again. And not to mention, then this full health Neo tank can strike the 8 health Neo tank and effectively knock it out. Well, won't one-shot it. Takes out the tank there, that probably was at 1% health. Does not take out that Neo tank there. Artillery does take out the anti-air there, and does hit the mech. Does strike the... finally finish off the free missile. Olaf still has his free missile. Battlecopter tank infantry ends turn of 129,000. Kindle starts turn of 64. I think she's done for. Her day-to-day is just being eaten up as well. Yeah, she just immediately resigns. Zangrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay. Before I get started next replay, I do need to use the restroom. Please give me a moment. My apologies, I am back. Let's see now. I have enough in me for 2 more replays. I'm not 100% today. Sammy versus Adder on this map. That seems interesting. Give me a moment to fix this. That seems good. Let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grid here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the south side is the Silver Claw Adder. We've got Thomas Maximus. So on the north side as the Black Hole Sami, we've got PS1 Hagrid. Let's go ahead and take a look at this map. It is a 3-base map, which 2 of the bases cross the sea and the airport as well. A couple seaports there, just primarily to resupply and refuel transports. Which Sami does have +1 movement range on transports, but I don't know how often does that come in handy. I think a lot of maps are designed with regular transport movement range for most COs, where this is not really useful for a lot of sea-based transports. It's actually probably better for just for the T-copters. Both players do start out with a basic cruiser to protect the HQ. Also provides a decent amount of vision. This map is quite large, with a number of properties, as well as a handful of forests. This forest here is meant for a stealth insertion as well. So hard to spot there, but it's also pretty easy to lock down this area. Just you can either be on top of this forest on this shore, so which also means a stealth way to protect it. Tank, infantry, recon. So Sami's going to get some aggression. Just get +10% firepower on all of our ground units, barring foot soldiers, which have +40% firepower. And of course has no day-to-days. This is just infantry by Adder, so he's saving up for something big next turn. We'll have 22,000. Doubt he's going to do a double base skip for Neo Tank, or triple base skip for Bomber, Battlecopter, so maybe I'm for just some Battlecopter production. There's a decent amount of infantry being stockpiled on both sides. I think it's uncommon to see a lander and black boat being used to push units forward. Because Sami has gone for a black boat here. We may see a black boat soon by Adder. T-copter by Sami as well. We're really going to try to push forward the units. Though this T-copter can always go into the map, center of the map, and actually push units there. Adder does have a counter, Sami does not. We're now 17 versus 16, and still a good number of despicable neutral properties in the field. Artillery, infantry, battlecopter, infantry. It also says all other direct units get -10% firepower, so I think your artillery is still at normal power. So she also has access to a decent artillery piece, a completely and utterly ordinary artillery piece. Tank's pushing a bit far forward, which could be struck by this tank. Of course, the chance of retaliation is quite high. The mech could get itself in the forest. Right now the income is equal. Tank does strike tank. push for the recon there to spot, see if there's anything nearby the tank. In this case, doesn't spot anything. And Sammy does not have any anti-airs in the center at the moment. She has to get that battlecopter in the center in order to protect herself from any sort of battlecopter play. Which she does. Going for more battlecopters and more infantry and tank. Anti-air battlecopter infantry. Anti-airs will be useful against Sammy, not because of fighting battlecopters, but fighting against the horde infantry that Sammy likes to go for, and mechs. Just be careful of mechs, they tend to fight back. You have a side slip available, so get +1 potential movement range for Adder. Sammy has captured now both comm towers, so her negative downside is now effectively neutral, while Adder's is of course still always neutral. So Sammy just has straight up benefits when it comes to day-to-day. No downsides at the moment. Actually has both comm. Yeah. No, she's actually slightly ahead because not +10% firepower, but +20. So overall, she's in a pretty good position. Now even for ground units is superior. And here comes a side slip. Mech is in range of the recon. We can see if that changes. Recon goes down, strikes infantry there. The mech does not get range, but I'm pretty sure he's able to double tap one of these infantry so the mech can strike the recon. We could see a double time. Double times is not a bad superpower. Getting +1 range on your infantry unit and give them what? Bumps their firepower from +30 to +50. It's not a bad superpower. Considering your infantry focus, a cheap superpower to get your infantry sprinting, particularly the mechs, can be very powerful. But I understand trying to save for the victory march. Because victory march could just straight up means victory, though no sneaky HQ capture. Adder should not delete his cruiser pretty much for any reason, unless it's going to have a permanent unit station replacing it. Goes to the recon and anti-air, very nice. Battlecopter anti-air. Mech and infantry. Adder's turn. He does have the black boat now, which also this land is getting pretty low in fuel. He needs an eye to get it refueled soon. Managed to one-shot the T-copter there. Is that a luck roll? Nope, that's just straight up guaranteed. I don't know why, I didn't think that would be a one-shot. And ignore the T-copper there. You don't see it. Anti-air over here will cause some trouble. She can use an anti-air to engage the anti-air, but I think it's out of range. Now trying to flip that comm tower. Does have an infantry nearby to interrupt it, but it'll only be a one-turn interrupt. Double black boat here. Okay. I think the double black bolt was an over-response there, because... yeah, I don't think double black bolts are really needed. Maybe it is. I mean, it's already a lander there, so the double black bolt's not a good idea, in my opinion. A victory march is almost available. She can start prepping her infantry in positions ready to sprint across the land to capture the city in one turn. She's starting to pull back there. Anti-air is getting into range. She's also lacking something to engage this anti-air down over here. Could try throwing this mech over there. Black boat needs to get its way to the seaport relatively soon, either way. But yeah, the black boat should try going over here to drop something off, and the lander can go over here, drop off a mech to help engage the anti-air possibly. suppose the double black boat is being useful. I don't know, that just seems like too many. After all, Sami's not having any trouble with a lander in a black boat, so I'm not exactly sure what went wrong there. Battlecopter. Mech infantry. Recon infantry artillery. Adder's making quite a bit of ground over here. And serve 157 field versus Sami's 169. That's just so, yep, there's still a infantry in there. It showed me the other team's infantry unit there for some odd reason. Medium tank and good enough battle coppers. Quite a serious force there. Sami has his own medium tank in the region, which does get spotted there. Got another adder, a medium tank down over here. With a power, it effectively becomes a neo tank for a turn. Speaking of neo tanks, do now have a neo tank deployed over here. Sami does have also 41 military units of field versus 35. Side slip now available. Could be popped immediately. Hard to say. Tank, anti-air, or not anti-air, battlecopter, infantry, mech. A lander and neo tank got landed in the middle-ish. Recon there. So yeah, it looks like 3 transports is perhaps a magic number there. Sami's starting to stockpile some units here. Maybe it's also, maybe T-copter and lander black boat is all you need. Tank, mech, T-copter recon. Infantry unit is in Victory March range of the comm tower, and that should be one of the first things you should try to seize with Victory March. But right now it's just a big stalemate. Recon getting in range of the recon, but also artillery's in range of the recon. Not to mention the artillery is also in range of the recon. Recon, battlecopter, infantry, recon. Both sides going for heavy monster recon. They want maximum spotting, and recon's versus Sami is not a bad idea. Artillery does strike that unit there. Finish off the infantry unit there. I think I would maybe use a 1 health battlecopter to try to finish off there. 1 health battlecopter is not going to be very useful. Sacks itself right there for some odd reason. Does not get the pick there. I think trying to range that artillery there with another battlecopter. Does have good vision on these battlecopters, as well as some infantry and everything nearby. And do now a stealth by Sami. It'd be a good idea to just keep this infantry on top of this comm tower, prevent the Victory March to claim a victory over it. tank anti-air infantry. Stealth has pushed forward and stealth. Black Boat's force can get all its resupply. Goes into forward APC just for the stealth fighter, likely. Deletes the cruiser there, which is, it is of course Sammy's cruiser. Adder should definitely keep that cruiser alive. Not sure why she deleted it. Oh, Unicap. The game's been such a stalemate, she's actually at Unicap. I'm assuming this map. Yep, unit limit's 50 rather than 60. And Adder has gone for a rocket. I guess, well, Adder could do some base skips now, because he's almost at pop unit cap as well. 49 versus 49. Mech gets a good strike there. Simon almost has a victory march. Have no idea how effective it will be. Adder's basically on top of most of his properties. Some can be opened up. I have no idea how this game's going to go. Got 176 versus 146. Simon could start saving up money. She has gone for a full fighter. Oh, and Sammy resigns. This Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Probably won't be uploading that one up to YouTube. After all, it was just a whole big stalemate and then resigned. Yeah, sorry about that. I have nothing for me for one last replay tonight. So let me cruise around my replay, see which one's good. The best one, I believe. Let's try to find it. I think this one was the best of them. Give me a moment to adjust the game, or the stream. Like the comm tower does scrape on top of the toolbar. And I think that's good enough. Greetings everyone, Angrade here for another Advanced Wars by Web replay. So on the south side as the Orange Star Jake, we got Muji6. On the north side as the Blue Moon Jess, we got Bilziv. This map is a 3-base map with a seaport here. Seaport can't go too far, so it's probably primarily meant for black boats, maybe landers at most, but you can always go for a battleship, put in this one shore tile. So first you start for black boat on top of their HQ. Decent amount of proc on both sides. Column towers in center. One air core in the back left and back top right. Along with the column tower, even more bottom left and more top right. Mech deployed in the field as well. Tank now deployed in the field. Recon now deployed in the field. Mech and infantry with another infantry. Tank heading down south. Recon as well. Both heading down to this direction there. Plenty of open ground for them to utilize. And there's enough roads here for the recon to push forward as well. Over here it's a little bit more broken. Battlecopter infantry. Chess Corpus minus 10% firepower on a battlecopter, which is okay, it's tolerable. Jake can get plus 10% firepower on his battlecopters if they fire from planes, which is pretty easy for them. Jake's day-to-day passive is actually quite usable. Not super powerful, but usable. It helps them break some stuff. And of course, the superpower does improve the plane's benefits. There's also an infantry unit there. Right now it's 14 versus 13,000 income. Tank and recon pushing the left side as well, so got a nice tank recon combo for both sides. We do also have another pair of tanks back here. And no anti-airs just yet. Seeing the battlecopter now, she will definitely go for our anti-air soon. Mech gets a good strike there. Does not take a point of damage, just percentage of damage. Probably 4% damage. Tank recon infantry. Tanks rotating around, got some infantry units there. And does get some damage there. Tank does strike the recon and one-shots it actually. Of course, that plus some firepower on the planes was very useful, plus that column tower as well. As well, the plus some firepower from planes effectively nullifies the defense of the planes. Tank, recon, infantry. Got two tanks in the recon over here, a third tank push forward. Jake does have two tanks right here, and probably a third anti-airs push forward. Just not come for a battlecopter just yet, but has got overactive anti-airs, that's for sure. Takes out some of those units there. Just now has a power available. Tank, recon, T-copter, and infantry. Tank does go down. Jake does not have any more tanks in the region. Does have some mechs nearby that can be useful for ambushes. There's now 19 versus 16. This will make it up to 18, and more props could be captured. In fact, Jake will actually flip a prop next turn as well. Tank, recon. We got another battlecopter over here as well. Anti-air not in the region. Could be pretty safe. Nope, out of range there. Good strike there. Anti-air will finish off that tank there. Both players close to their superpower. Jake is more of a superpower CO. Well, just can go for either power or superpower. Eventually wants to go for 1-2 punch or one big smash. Jake, of course, will get his vehicles up to plus 30% firepower on planes, while Jess does improve her vehicle firepower to plus 40%. Actually, no, I looked up here. Jake's actually plus 40% firepower on planes with the superpower, not 30%. So I pull back these units there. Probably just going to be defensive against mechs. Both players have the superpower on the exact same attack. Try to flip a property there. It's good striking that anti-air. Takes out the tank there. So Jake has solidified the right flank. Jess can claim the left flank. Just have to deal with a pair of mechs back here. Which this with power or superpower, she could range them. Spotting them should be a simple matter as well. Spotted them. And the anti-airs with a superpower can range them as well. Looks like she's not. Oh, gets trapped on 1 health infantry unit there. But not a big issue. Nothing to really capitalize on that. Mechs cannot get +2 movement range of Block Rock. Only ground vehicles. More medium tanks employed by Jess. What was he, a superpower? Both players are saving the superpower, which honestly maybe still be the best play, because I don't see any massive engagement they need the extra range or firepower for. Jess, of course, has a good number of medium tanks. Jake has mixed in some artillery. Jess, of course, gets bonus firepower to a rocket. Jake can get also bonus firepower, not rockets, artillery. But also, both the power and superpower, they get +1 range. And of course, via them being on planes, can also get increased firepower. Still a good idea not to have your artillery on planes, though, because that makes them easy open sitting ducks. And Jake does have 22,000 income versus 18, and trying to flip more properties, just as if she's lagging behind. So Jake will have a decent economic advantage and will actually start growing a slight amount. So a couple of despicable neutral properties over here. So Jake's capturing games much better than Jess's at the moment. Oh, pops a superpower. Let's see how this goes. Does take out a mech there. Another mech still in range. Strikes multiple targets down south. Hits the recon there. Tank infantry. Lock Rock likely. Which could be used to strike this regular tank there now. Recon gets a good strike there. Strikes that tank there. Could try to finish off the 5 health infantry unit there. Be a little bit difficult. Use the 5 health infantry unit there. Finish that stuff off. He's starting to equalize on the left flank. Takes out that tank there. Mech gets a great strike on the recon. Tank hitting anti-air. Finish off the infantry unit there. Another strike there. No bonus damage from planes. Or neither there as well, technically. It's a beach. I feel like Jake's superpower was much better. Distance were quite great. Insert for 131. Jess starts her for 94. Still has a day-to-day though. And now Jess's medium tank is starting to get into range, which Jake does not have any real counters to him. Could get a great boosted strike there with a mech though. Though this medium tank has no counter at the moment. Good to get in range for artillery, but you gotta be lucky there. Although we do have a Neo tank reinforcing, maybe just put on top some force and try to get ambush strike. And this is the more important part though. Jake has maintained the economic lead of 6,000. Saw that tank there. I really want to see that mech strike that tank, or medium tank. It will be worth it, but decides to put a round in that regular tank. So just going to dance around this medium tank. It will take out a target, but only perhaps one target. And he could strike one of his nearby tanks, but still be in range of the mech. So this medium tank has to be careful about this mech. Try to keep his distance from the mech. Don't take a free shot from it. A 6 health tank will likely be eyeing the 2 health tank. Another Neo tank on the left flank. Jake ends turn for 141. Jess starts turn for 93. Possible power this turn. I think she should have try to get that medium tank on the other side of the tank, but of course, vision would be a bit of a gamble there. Should have been a pretty safe gamble, honestly. But now the mech is in range of the medium tank. Those on top of the 3-star property. We also got a battlecopter there. I think Jake should pop a beatdown next turn. Just squeeze out a plus 10% additional firepower from planes and plus 10% firepower for activating the power. The indirect stuff, this one will get a good shot there. I think he should pop power. That could allow his battlecopter to get a booster strike here, and then his mech a booster strike, and perhaps knock out this medium tank. Plus artillery round there. Tank on the tank. Tank taking out tank. Neo tank takes the medium tank there, so I guess he did not need the power to support that. Jess has now a overdrive there. I think Jake should be hyper aggressive here, make it so there's not many good targets remaining. Battlecopter striking battlecopter, that's not a bad idea. Mech strikes tank there as a consolation prize instead of hitting the medium tank again. So overall, I think Jake did that turn very well. So popping the power looks like it was not the best idea. Just an idea. If it's come from me, it's probably a bad idea. Oh, superpower? And maybe I go for a regular power, but nothing's in range. It could be a bad idea just hold on to it. Because we're just basically boosting medium tank. Block rock's now available, but also as once again, not a good idea to pop. There's just simply nothing that would be in range. Maybe plus 40% firepower from battlecopter hit a medium tank, but that's about it. And Jake's kept more properties. His income lead is increasing, and the one last despicable neutral property is still on the field being captured. Sacks the mech there. Sacking the mech was probably not a really good idea. Just leave it alive, give another target. Because it's not like it's had to save or get rid of power charge and things like that. Both players have their superpower as well. Tank. Another property flipped. Oh no, that was a despicable neutral one. Jess now trying to flip this one. Tank onto tank. Anti-air onto tank. And this tank is actually pretty low in fuel. 18 remaining. Interrupts that capture there. And Neo tank just decides to wait there. I probably would have put it onto the forest there for a bit of hiding. Tank recon. 161 versus 83. Pops with superpower. She may try to turn this game around this turn. If the longer the game goes on, the more worse off the income difference. 25,000 versus 17. She has to make this turn very good. Recon did a good start, gets some good spotting. Medium tank strikes a Neo tank with a superpower. Very good. Strikes the tank there. Artillery is in range of the medium tank and on a planes. So this may one-shot the medium tank. Oh! And the medium tank gets trapped on the infantry unit there, resulting in resign. I don't think she could have turned around the game, but that was just straight to point where like, yeah, I just lost a turn the medium tank. And with our cast of vision, the Neo tank was in range. With a range superpower, yeah, she would have been demolished next turn by an artillery and by a Neo tank. This is Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. As mentioned beforehand, that shall be my last replay for tonight, so everyone, thank you for watching, have a good evening.